Welcome into the Solo Shot Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Dom Mana. Happy Solo Shot Monday edition. And we ended up axing the Saturday show because the playoffs weren't set yet. If everybody had clinched on Friday, I would have been up on Saturday morning with y'all, giving my wild card picks, giving my breakdown of the season that was. But 2025, the baseball season, from me and all the other fans out there, thank you, baseball. 2025 truly hit different. And I think a big part of that is, for the first time in this show's history, my team was interesting the whole way through, whether it be the offseason trading for Garrett Crochet and signing Alex Bregman, whether it be the Rafael Devers trade and saga, whether it be Roman Anthony taking the reins and building the Roman Empire and the Red Sox going on a run, the skids and falls along the way to their first playoff berth since 2021. When your team's in it, baseball is just a little bit better, and baseball's already really freaking good. And this 2025 season had a lot more in it than the 3 seasons that I like to call it of my Boston Red Sox: the hype season, the drama season, and the playoff push. And this playoff push has been really exciting. I was glad they got the clinch at home on a walk-off in the Green Monster jerseys. Fanatics, stock up on those Green Monster jerseys. I've been wanting one for a while. They've been out of stock. Fix that. The 2025 Major League Baseball season was truly one for the books. And it wasn't just because the stars were as advertised. The men that were expected to take home the hardware, Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, all had MVP and Cy Young caliber seasons. That rarely happens. One of those guys ends up getting hurt or falling off, or someone else comes out of nowhere. They all lived up to the billing. There were crazy win streaks. There were crazy comebacks in division races, in playoff chases. There were amazing collapses. I'm sorry, Mets fans. I held out hoping that you guys would get in. This season had it all. And we've talked about Cal Raleigh a ton on this program. One of the most historic catcher seasons we will ever see. 60 home runs by a switch hitting catcher. That is the most home runs by a catcher in a season, most home runs by a switch hitter, most home runs by a Seattle Mariner, and the 9th most home runs of all time in a single season, done by Cal Raleigh in T-Mobile Park in Seattle, where I say home runs go to die. It is not a hitter-friendly park. It is not for home runs, and Cal Raleigh puts together this magical season, wins the home run derby, leads the league in home runs pretty much the entire season, which you rarely see. Really, really special. Helps the Mariners win their first AL West championship since 2001. 24 years. The Mariners are back, and arguably one of the favorites to win it all right now with the September that they've had. The pitching is going. They have hitters around Cal Raleigh. They're a really exciting bunch. I'm happy for Seattle baseball fans because I didn't believe in you guys coming into the year. Another team I didn't believe in coming into the year, the Detroit Tigers. And like I said, Tarek Skubal lived up to the billing. The Tigers had the best record in baseball going into the All-Star break. They had a 15-game lead in the dang division. And while they did lose that lead and the Guardians didn't end up winning the division, the Tigers still were able to make the postseason for back-to-back seasons. They still have Tarek Skubal in a 3-game series. They are not out of it by any means. They're a team that I will not doubt because I decided to doubt them at the beginning of the season. I thought that their 2024 was a fluke. On the National League side of things, a team that I wasn't ready to get hurt by again, the Chicago Cubs. I did not believe in them. I thought that they had gotten better. Kyle Tucker coming in, Ryan Presley in the back of the bullpen. Matt Shaw was an exciting young rookie. I thought they'd gotten better. But to the extent that they played this season with the injuries, they haven't had Justin Steele since very early in the year. Cade Horton has come along as the clear National League Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. A guy who has been a frontline starter for them, pitched big games, and will pitch even bigger ones here down the stretch. Chicago Cubs are really fun to watch, and I'm glad that there's playoff baseball back in Chi-Town. And the Cincinnati Reds, we talked about the Mets and their collapse. The Cincinnati Reds did a great job just hanging around. Coming into the year, the Reds were looked at as a team as well. They have a lot of fun young bats, but I don't know how well they can pitch. They had one of the best starting rotations from beginning to end of this Major League Baseball season. I talked about it. Terry Francona being a guy who could change the culture there, and just being a team that hangs around and plays competitive baseball all the way till the end. It ended up getting them into the damn playoffs. Cincinnati is such an old school baseball town. I'm so excited for those fans that they get playoff baseball. And like I said, with a 3-game series, when you can throw Hunter Green and Andrew Abbott out there, you have a chance to box with anyone. I don't care if you're playing the defending champs. So those are the teams that I doubted. In terms of the teams that I believed in, it was a very, very fun season for the Milwaukee Brewers. And while I did not expect them to have the best record in baseball by any means, I knew that it was their division to win. I didn't care how they looked on paper. They never looked the most exciting on paper. They are just a hard-nosed, good baseball team. So Christian Yelich bounce back was something that I called upon. The Jackson Chourio next step is something that I called upon. Bryce Terang, and so many other unsung heroes that have had tremendous impact on this season, both in spurts and with the long haul. Their lineup is mashing. Their pitching rotation is solid. Their bullpen is nasty. The Brewers are a legitimate contender. The Dodgers, defending champs, Shohei Ohtani, broke his record of his Dodger single season record of last year of home runs, hitting 55 this year. He pitched this year 50 strikeouts and 50 home runs. Unbelievable. Mookie Betts is playing like Mookie Betts again at the right time. Freddie Freeman, another very consistent, great season. And they've had a lot of injuries, but they've stuck together. And it's the true mark of a winner is when you can overcome injuries, you can overcome underperformance, you can overcome all those things and still win a division that ended up being a gauntlet. The Giants and Diamondbacks were still in play the last week of the season for that last wild card spot. They're good teams. The Padres are a very good team. So hats off to the Dodgers, and they are playing playoff baseball yet again. The Philadelphia Phillies, a team that I picked to win it all prior to the Zach Wheeler injury. I still feel really good about this Phillies core. They've been there before. They know what it tastes like. They have not climbed the mountain yet, though. It's kind of that last hurrah right now. They have Schwarber and Real Muto on contracts. Nicky Castellanos has 1 year left on his contract after this year. It's kind of the last wave for this era of Phillies baseball. And they have Christopher Sanchez. They have Jesus Luzardo, the only starting rotation that has 200 strikeout pitchers this year. The Philadelphia Phillies. Ranger Suarez has shown he's a big game pitcher. They've gotten contributions from Aaron Nola, from Taijuan Walker, from Mick Abel, all these different guys that have pitched innings for them this year. they've gotten contributions. But the real difference maker and the why I'm still in on the Phillies is they went out and they got a legit shutdown closer. They got Johan Duran, and he's been absolutely nasty as a Philly. And when you have that shutdown closer, you have legit starting pitching, you have a lineup that can mash with anyone. I am still confident in the Philadelphia Phillies. On the American League side, maybe my best prediction of the year was the Toronto Blue Jays winning the AL East, going worst to first. Most people were not with me. Vegas was not with me. A lot of my fellow Red Sox fans were calling me crazy, saying, why didn't you pick the Red Sox? Or why didn't you pick the Orioles? Or why didn't you pick the Yankees? How do you pick Toronto to win it? Well, simple. Toronto severely underperformed last year. They brought back all the same talent with some additional talent. And they can pitch with anybody. They can hit extremely well. And their bullpen has been really, really solid all year long. That's how you have a consistent winner and a real contender in the American League. The New York Yankees, Aaron Judge did not miss serious time. The Yankees are a playoff team because of it. They are a legit team because of it. Giancarlo Stanton's had a nice bounce back season in terms of his regular season performance compared to last year. Max Fried was a fantastic signing for them. I wish the Red Sox could have gotten it done. This Yankees team hits a lot of homers, has a couple really good starting pitchers. They are improved from the team that went to the World Series last year. Let's see if they can take that next step. And then, of course, the Cleveland Guardians. We talked about it at the beginning of the season, how kind of like the Brewers, they own this division for better or worse. And they ended up proving me right when I was looking very, very wrong for most of the season. Coming back, winning the division. At the beginning of the month, they had an 11-game deficit, ended up overcoming it, tying the Tigers with the tiebreaker, won the division. Jose Ramirez is a future Hall of Famer. He's special. But what this team has went through with the 2 suspended relievers, with trading away Shane Bieber, with a bunch of injuries, this team just never says die. And while they might not be the scariest team on paper, they might not be the favorite to win it all. When you talk about getting hot at the right time, and you talk about what the Guardians have overcame already adversity-wise, the fact that they get to play the Tigers again in a 3-game series, it's really, really exciting to see this Guardians team, see how far they can go, because they have momentum that they did not possess last year when they were squaring off against the Yankees. It is playoff time, people. It is playoff time. Tomorrow, first game of the wild card series, best of 3s. Reds, Dodgers. Terry Francona has never said die with this team. Just stay in it. And like I said, in a 3-game series, if you have a couple legit pitchers, Hunter Green and Andrew Abbott, you can box with anybody. Now, the Dodgers are going to hit you with Yamamoto and Snell. It's going to be a real dogfight. The Dodgers have been there before. The Dodgers have a bunch of future Hall of Famers. Clayton Kershaw will not be on the wild card roster, and I do want to see him pitch in the postseason one last time. I'm picking the Dodgers over the Reds, but I expect this series to go 3 games. And in this wild card era, usually the team that wins the first game wins the series, and very few of them go to 3 games. Most of them are sweeps. I'm expecting the Reds to push the Dodgers to 3 games. Padres, Cubs. If I take my bias away, this is the best series of this round. The Padres have a killer lineup top to bottom. Super, super excited to watch playoff ball in Wrigley. This lineup can hit with anybody. Nick Pivetta is a down ballot Cy Young guy. He's been awesome. Dylan Cease and whoever else will start game 2. They have real pitching, and their bullpen is arguably the best in the game, with Mason Miller at the back end, who's been absolutely ridiculous since the trade. They're going into the friendly confines that will not be so friendly. The Chicago Cubs, like I said, Cade Horton pitching big innings for this team. Shota Imanaga would be my nod for the game 2 start. You got those two guys, 1-2 against Pivetta Cease. We will see who the number 2 starter for the Padres ends up being. It's really hard to win on the road in the postseason. But this Padres team, with that bullpen, I think is going to be able to keep or hold any lead they're able to give their pitcher. That's why I have the Padres beating the Cubs in 2 games. They're going to be 2 hard-fought games. Cade Horton and Shota Imanaga are no pushovers. But when it comes to the bullpen innings, the late innings that decide the game, give me San Diego. Detroit Tigers versus Cleveland Guardians. Like I said, the Guardians having this storybook run, getting home field advantage, winning the division, and owning the Tigers psychologically, not just head-to-head, but also just from doing that to them in the standings, making that 15-10-0 game lead just disappear. The Tigers get to throw Skubal in game 1. And I really just think that's the difference. Getting to throw in the postseason. I understand he didn't have his best start last time against Cleveland. But you hand the ball to Skubal in a best of 3. I told you game 1 really matters. I think the Tigers can pull off the upset here. After being counted out, after psychologically losing to the Guardians, I think their lineup's better. And I think the guys that at the top of their rotation are just better. If this was a 5 or a 7 game series, I don't think I'd be able to go Tigers here. But in a 3 game set, give me the Motor City Kitties. And finally, my Boston Red Sox go to the New York Yankees. And this is not just super important because it's the rivalry. It's not just super important because the Red Sox haven't been in the postseason since 2021. My father and I, he's a Yankees fan, God bless him, have a bet every single year that whichever team goes further, Red Sox or Yankees, the other one gets to sign $1 saying that they were wrong, the other person was right. Red Sox over Yankees 2025 Major League Baseball season. There's $1 on the line, folks. The Red Sox had owned the Yankees all year until the last series of the season. And while the Red Sox still have a winning record against the Yankees throughout the whole season, there's a lot of what have you done for me lately? The Yankees and the fact that they get to play at home where their home runs are more likely to happen, which is what we saw in the last series, Red Sox-Yankees. We saw a lot of home runs just get out, and when the Yankees hit home runs, they win. If the Red Sox can limit home runs in this short series, I'll have that dollar really easily. But it's not going to come easy. This is going to go 3 games. I'm going Red Sox. All the bias and love in the world. Garrett Crochet has shown that he's a certified Yankee killer, that he can get Judge out. If we win game 1, I think we can win one of the next 2 games with Bayo or Giolito on the hill. It's not going to be easy. The Yankees are going to hit home runs. They are not going to make this easy on the Red Sox. But I talked about in a short series, whose starting pitching do I prefer? Fried's been excellent. He's going to match Crochet very well. But I think the Red Sox starting pitching 2 through 4 is better. I think the Red Sox have the 2 best relievers in the American League in Garrett Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman. I think that's going to matter. Red Sox in 3. So I have Red Sox in 3 over the Yankees to face the Blue Jays in the DS. I have Tigers 2-0 over the Guardians to face the Mariners in the DS. I have Dodgers in 3 games over the Reds to play the Phillies in the DS. And I have Padres in 2 games over the Cubs to play the Brewers in the DS. Let me know in the comments below who you're picking to win these matchups and why. I feel like I have put a lot of thought into this, and while anything can happen in baseball, and like I said, the first game really matters. So if the Guardians take game 1, or the Cubs take game 1, or the Yankees take game 1, or heck, the Reds take game 1, these series could get flipped on their butts. But until we see playoff baseball tomorrow, those are my picks, and I feel pretty good about them. As for the ones that missed the postseason, most notably the Houston Astros and the New York Mets, teams that were in playoff position all the way to the last week of the season, then completely fell out. Keep your chins up. You both have really good cores of players. I think both teams clearly know what they need to add this offseason. The Mets need to add front-end starting pitching. The Astros clearly need to add power to their lineup. And I think they'll both be fine right in the thick of things next year. As for the teams that were just overall disappointing all year, the Braves and the Orioles mainly, there's a lot more work I think that needs to be done for those 2 teams. Some big trades potentially this offseason to talk about. So for you fans that aren't in the postseason picture, my heart feels with you. I've been there the last 4 years. I will continue to give you updates and nuggets throughout the postseason as well as during the offseason. But for now, we have to celebrate the teams that made it there and enjoy playoff baseball, because it'll be gone in the snap of a finger, and it's the most excellent baseball played all year. Here at the Solo Shot Sports Podcast, we throw back down the third base line to this day in baseball history. There's quite a bit to choose from on September 29th, surprisingly. Whether there was debuts, whether there was World Series games. But as you can see at the signature at the bottom of the card, the Say Hey kid Willie Mays put himself on the national map on this day in 1954, making what would go down as the catch. It was the 8th inning. Vic Wertz of the Cleveland Indians hit a deep fly ball to right center field. Willie Mays ran well over 100 feet to catch this ball over his shoulder, basket catch, after Larry Doby and Al Rosen had hit 2 leadoff singles. And Larry Doby could fly. So Willie Mays planted his right foot in the warning track, spun around out of his cap, and delivered a strike to the middle of the infield to hold the runner. So on a deep fly ball, instead of Larry Doby and Al Rosen scoring on an extra base hit, they were held on first and second by the great Willie Mays. The catch is what it is known as, but the throw is even more unbelievable. One of the greatest moments in baseball history, something that has been personified in two simple words of the catch, and it happened on this date in 1929. Willie Mays accomplished many great feats in his career, but that is one that will always be at the top of mind when you think of the late, great Say Hey Kid. I want to round things out here with the awards fallout. I talked about at the beginning of the show how Terrence Skubal, Paul Skeens, Aaron Judge, and Shohei Ohtani, they were the favorites to win the awards, and they clearly are at the top of the pack, have had MVP and Cy Young caliber seasons, and very likely will be the four that end up winning the awards. But I want to talk about some of the other fallout from this year's upcoming award voting season, because there were some truly, truly great guys that will fall somewhere between 2 and 5 in the balloting that I just want to get their flowers. The first, obviously, is Cal Raleigh. Now, if I had an MVP vote, I would vote for Cal Raleigh. And it's for all the old school things that I just talked about. It's for the fact that he did it as a catcher, as a switch hitter, as a Mariner playing in Seattle, and the fact that the Mariners ended up winning their first division crown since in 2001, when the Yankees ended up not winning their division, still being a playoff team, better record, but not winning their division. So to me, Cal Raleigh with that historic season, MVP worthy in my book. While the gap in B WAR is 2.5 wins, when you look at Fangraphs WAR or F WAR, that factors in catcher framing and catcher defensive metrics that B WAR does not. They're less than a win apart. So when you're that close to as valuable as Aaron Judge, but you're doing it for the Seattle Mariners, to me, catching the majority of the time, switch hitting in the big leagues, like that to me is MVP. And Cal Raleigh, if he doesn't, it's going to be one of the greatest non-MVP seasons of all time. So Cal Raleigh, I gave him a lot of love on the show this year. I think if he played more defensive catcher and was a little bit better defensively this year, got the WAR up into the 8s on B WAR, and there'd be a lot more people on my side there for the vote. It's not that Aaron Judge's season is not fantastic. Led the league in runs scored, led the league in walks, led the American League history in intentional walks, led in the triple slash line, won the batting title, 331 batting average with 53 home runs, which is the most home runs ever hit by a batting champion in a single season. That combination of average and power, unbelievable by Aaron Judge, and he's one of the all-time greats. He's going to win the MVP this year. He's going to win at least one more MVP during his prime. He is that good. He is that great. But I would vote for Cal Raleigh. Another great season that's going to fall somewhere in the 3 to 5 range in the American League is Jose Ramirez. I talked about him. 5.8 WAR, 30 home runs, 283 batting average, scored over 100 runs, 34 doubles, 85 RBIs, 44 stolen bases, 137 OPS plus. He's just consistently in that top 5 of MVP consideration every single year. And truly, truly great. Bobby Witt Jr. led the league in hits, and while he did not necessarily come back and have the kind of season that he had last year with 10 WAR. He was in a down year. He led the league in hits with 184 and had a 7.1 WAR season with 23 bombs, hitting 295. Led the league in doubles with 47, 88 RBIs, 38 stolen bases, a 136 OPS plus while playing plus defensive shortstop. Bobby Witt Jr. is unbelievable. Another guy that's going to be somewhere in the 3 to 5 range that in the Aaron Judge era is not getting the hardware that he might get in any other given season. On the National League side of things, Kyle Schwarber has been talked about a lot. Finished the year with 4.7 WAR, 56 home runs, and a MLB leading 132 runs driven in. He stole 10 bases, hit 23 doubles. He walked 108 times, 150 OPS plus. He's going to have his highest MVP finish of his career this year, 240 batting average. Juan Soto of the aforementioned Mets had the first 40-30 season in Mets history. He was absolutely unbelievable this year. 120 runs scored, 20 doubles, 152 hits, 43 home runs, 105 RBIs, 38 stolen bases, which led the National League, by the way. Led the league in walks with 127 and had a 160 OPS plus. Another guy that's going to fall somewhere below Shohei Ohtani that had a really fantastic season. And finally, he's been way out of it. But Corbin Carroll this year, 5.8 WAR, 30-30 season for the first time in his career and first time in Diamondbacks history. 259 batting average, scored 107 runs, 146 hits, 32 doubles, 17 triples, which led the league, 84 RBIs, 32 stolen bases, had a 140 OPS plus for the Diamondbacks. I was glad that he was an all-star again this year. He's one of the true great young talents in the game, and I love the way he plays baseball, and he's going to be someone that finishes in that 3 to 5 range. That was absolutely amazing to watch this year, even though his team wasn't where I was hoping them to be, and many Diamondbacks fans were as well. So some shout-outs there. Trey Turner ended up winning the batting crown, 5.5 WAR, 179 hits, 15 home runs. Like I said, he won the batting title, 94 runs scored, 69 RBIs, 36 stolen bases. His batting title was 304. He was the only National League hitter to hit 300 this season, and the lowest National League hitter to ever win the batting title since they started measuring batting average in 1876. The only American League batting title that was ever lower than this Trey Turner 2025 batting title is Carl Yastrzemski's in 1969, which was 301, the year after the year of the pitcher, where he was also the only player in his league to hit over 300. Part of this is the era of baseball we play in, where batting average is not necessarily as big of a trait. But Trey Turner, this is his second batting championship now. He actually won the batting title in 2021, playing between the Nationals and the Dodgers. He batted 328 on the season, and his career batting average is 297. Trey Turner's a future Hall of Famer that does not get talked about as such. He's someone that's going to be top 10 in MVP voting this year. Won the batting title, as low of a number as it is. And I'm interested to see going forward if someone ends up winning a batting title with a average that starts with 2. I think it's very, very possible with the way the game's being played right now. And it's scary. For those of you wondering where Luis Arraez is on the National League side of things, he finished 4th in the National League, batting .292, which would have been 8th in the American League. The American League did have 5 hitters hit over 300 and a bunch of hitters in the 290 plus range. But congratulations, Trey Turner, another feather in your cap towards Cooperstown and a down ballot MVP season. On the pitcher side of things, Logan Webb is the first Giants pitcher since 1944 to lead the league in innings and strikeouts. He is 3.9 WAR, 15-11 record, 3.22 ERA. Like I said, 3rd year in a row leading the league in innings pitched. 224 strikeouts, leads the league, and he was just extremely effective the entire year. His ERA plus 124. Another guy who has, like Jose Ramirez, been in the top 5 Cy Young conversation, but not won the award. And the guy who I think really is missing out on the award this year is Christopher Sanchez. 8 WAR season by a pitcher. 13-5 record, 2.50 ERA, which is fantastic. Paul Skeens had a 1.97, much lower. Started all 32 games, pitched over 200 innings, struck out 212 batters, only had 56 earned runs, only walked 44 batters all year, a 176 OPS plus. Christopher Sanchez should have been an all-star, and in many seasons should have been the Cy Young Award winner, but Paul Skeens is going to be the first pitcher since Eric Gagne to win the Cy Young without a winning record, because Paul Skeens has a 500 record. 10-10. 7.6 WAR. But for the Pirates, 1.97 ERA. 187 innings pitched, struck out 216 batters. So same amount of strikeouts as Sanchez in less innings, lower ERA, 217 ERA plus. So we talked about the gap in ERA from 2.50, which is fantastic, to 1.97, which is crazy. In ERA plus, that's a difference of 176 to 217. Big gap. Paul Skeens, one of the true great young pitching talents in this game, and deserves the award for sure. On the American League side of things, Garrett Crochet was my pick, and he had a Cy Young season. 6.3 WAR, 18-5 record, 2.59 ERA. Led the league in innings, 205.1. Led the league in strikeouts, 255. Only walked 46 batters. ERA plus 159. Max Fried, who I talked about earlier, would have been a great signing for my Red Sox, but the Yankees were willing to give him more years and more money. 4.5 WAR, 19-5 record, 2.86 ERA. His 19 wins led the league, 195 innings, 189 strikeouts, only walked 51 batters, ERA plus of 142. Really, really fantastic season. And Hunter Brown, because he was on the Astros, much like Juan Soto, will be forgotten about in the award. 6.1 WAR, 2.43 ERA, 12-9 record. He pitched 185 innings and struck out 206 batters. Truly broke out this year, 172 ERA plus. Me personally, I would have Hunter Brown as my 3rd place Cy Young vote. This year, most people are going to have Fried ahead of him or have Brian Wu ahead of him. And while I'm a fan of Brian Wu, 4.3 WAR, 15-7 record, 2.94 ERA. He pitched 186 innings, and struck out 198 batters for the first place Mariners, but got his first All-Star nod. To me, Wu and Fried were a nudge or two below Hunter Brown this year, and that's a compliment to Brown not an insult against Wu or Freed, who are both frontline guys that will matter for their teams this postseason. Appreciate each and every one of you for spending part of your week with me. We will see some playoff baseball this week. I'll be with you guys again when the wild card round has completed. I will sit down, record an episode reacting to what happened, giving you my picks and reactions for the divisional round, and we will continue like that through the postseason. So for scheduling purposes, that's when you can expect to hear from me. I will see you guys after the wild card round. Make sure you spend some time, sit down in front of the TV, listen to the radio, tune in to some playoff baseball this week. You will not want to miss it. It's going to get wild.